So, for example, you cannot cry and you repeat, I can cry, or I'm crying, I'm crying. So you're giving now a kind of a logical line for the mind to follow. And your mind is thinking, oh, wait a moment. Maybe that is possible, you know, and as you're repeating and you're in a therapy environment and so on, then sometimes it happens, like a lot of times, like 95% out of the times. Sometimes you might need something else, but usually it happens. And it's interesting, just by giving the suggestion, you know, just by saying, I can do it.
Maybe autogenic therapy.
Not necessarily you need to do a specific session for that. You see what I mean? You're just allowing yourself, and you're saying in your body therapy process, you're saying to yourself, allow it to happen. And it happens. No need to do a special technique for that, in that sense. No need to apply it. No need to do hypnotic suggestions or anything like that. It's as simple as that. Just a logical suggestion in the process of where you're opening your emotions and your body information, in that sense, in the therapy environment. And it happens. Great. It's so simple and just logical in that sense. So yeah, we do program ourselves when we say, I cannot cry, I cannot laugh, I cannot do whatever, you know. Yes, it's there because the mind is a mechanism for analysis, you know, and always putting things in its place in that sense. So if you're putting out the signal, this is not happening, then the mind will not be looking for it to happen. And if it's not looking for it to happen, it will not activate the nervous system as a compass for recognizing whatever stimuli might be there. So it will not be happening. I mean, the chances are bad in that sense, you know. So yeah, that's it with how emotions work in that sense. Okay. So you have this gap, this emptiness, and there's nothing, and that's fine, and you allow it, and possibilities appear. Whatever possibility appears is great. There might be an emotion, there might be an understanding, there might be thoughts, there might be still nothing, and still is wonderful in that sense. So do not go into judging whatever it is. Yeah, we do not judge the emotions. We do not judge the absence of emotions. We generally try not to judge. Try not to say it's good or bad. As Namkhai Norbu was saying, judging and thinking is the root of our problems.
Also, something really, really wonderful. After our last session, I tried for a few days to finding beauty in everything. Man, the feeling there, it was freaking amazing. When I see something ugly, let's say, like it's like what, how they did this, you know, in this beautiful place, how they built this this house or whatever, and trying to just flip it and find the nice part about everything. It's hard to express. I know you know the feeling, but it's like really this wonderful feeling, you know, like
yeah, and it's like everything is in place. I suggest you keep on doing that practice. It's a liberation practice, just so you know. It lead you to liberation, and it's as simple as a thing like that. You can do the development of choosing, in that sense, what will it be, starting with the big ones and then going to the small ones. But in that sense, there is a point where everything kind of switches, and you are in a state of observing beauty. It's the Sundaram aspect. And then truth starts appearing, the Satyam aspect. And in that sense, when truth and beauty are together, then Shiva appears, then Shivam. This is where the idea is coming from, me creating this practice. But the thing is that it has so much enjoyment in the practice. It's so tantric in that sense.
You told me that you're going to explain the whole practice, because you just give me a little information and then you said in the next session I will explain with further details.
So what did I give you? I just give you the steps?
Not at all. I mean, you told me just try to appreciate beauty in everything.
Ah, so I haven't given you the practice.
No.
Okay. Oh shit, I thought I had given that. So okay, let's do that. That's important. Okay. This is the introduction. by recognizing beauty, we realize truth, and through truth and beauty, we realize Shiva. The basis is this Trika thing, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. So let's go to the technique and then we explain more. The theory is more or less there. I don't want to spend a lot of time now, but this is the basis for it. The world is made through beauty or by beauty and love, and there is a lot of knowledge and understanding there. And of course, the presence of the Creator lives in all. And in that sense, touching its grace, his grace or her grace, we can touch the world and we can touch the intent, you can say, the divine intent. There is a lot there. And it all, for me, at least, starts with beauty as an aspect, because it's such a prominent thing in everything. You look at everything, if you really have this sense of like observing naturally, you will find that there's natural beauty in all. And if there is natural beauty in all, then one thing drives the other, and here we are. So it's a good starting point. So the practice has 4 steps. First step, first of all, you will need to choose things to observe, let's say beautiful things, and you start with generally accepted as beautiful things, for example, a sunset or a beautiful tree or a flower, but generally things that are easy to recognize their beauty. The first step is, let's say you're watching a sunset, yeah? So first thing to do is you stop. If you're driving in your car, or if you're walking, or if you're surfing, or if you're listening to music, just stop, okay? You will dedicate time for this. It cannot be done on the go in that sense. So you stop what you're doing. You drive to the side of the road, you get out of your car. And now you're observing the sunset, let's say. Okay, first level then. You're observing all the details, so analytical as much as possible. So see the sun, how round or how this or how that, the colors, how it's moving into the sea, for example, how the mountains are playing with the different colors and the wind and whatever, the island in front, how is it looking, what does it change? So analyze the image as much as possible. You want to really decode everything there. And if you're, let's say you're looking at the sand in front of you, how the ripples in the sand kind of complete the ripples of the sea, and how this melts nice with the color of the sunset and the pink and the whatever. And now, yeah, so overexert the mind with the analysis of why this is beautiful. So this is the first step, and you really go and go and go and go and go as much as you like until there's, yeah, that's it. I know why it's beautiful, yeah? So second part, when that is finished, actually, it's a process. That's why I'm saying, I was saying earlier that at the end, you're just staying in this presence of Sundaram and everything happens. But we need the training. So this is the training. So second step, it kind of opens up after the first one, is the feeling of it, the energy that I'm getting from it. So I'm looking at the sunset and what is happening. You can even start with some body sensations if you want in this part. If you haven't described them in the previous one, you can describe them now. And it's okay, it's kind of a bonus in the first 2, but body sensations help a lot. So how am I feeling with all of this? Am I sad? Am I happy? Am I like overexcited? I feel this warmth in my chest. How is the energy in the atmosphere right now? What is this causing me? Really going this step forward, we had the meaning of it all, the analysis of it all on the external level, and now the experiential part. How am I receiving this? How it's affecting me, How am I feeling, emotions, and so on. Now, in this part, there might be like some big emotions, especially in the beginning of doing this practice, in the first, let's say, some months or so. You might go into a therapy process at this stage. So maybe you start crying, or maybe you're angry, or maybe you are feeling despair or sadness or whatever it is. And that's fine. If it happens, you just allow yourself to go into that and express. So sometimes it might be that you're sitting down to do this meditation, observing beauty, and you're doing therapy. And you're actually doing therapy. Like always, we're always doing therapy. So this part, this bit, if it happens, if the need for expressing strong emotional states appear and so on, you just go into it. But if they are strong, you don't continue with the rest of the steps. You just stay with that. That was the deal for the day, in that sense. I cry at sunset, you poor soul. And then whatever. So if this happens, if you're feeling angry or sad or whatever with one of these things, then I suggest you try the same stimulant. Again, a sunset. If you were crying, let's say last time, again a sunset. And again and again and again, until there's nothing happening in that step in terms of needing to decompress or express emotions. They are there and they're pleasantly present, let's say. So this is the second part. So you observe, experience, be with the emotions, and that's what it is. When this is fully experienced, then we move on to the third part. The third part is include space. So it is me and this thing and these emotions, and we are sharing this space. We are in this present moment, in this space. So I am also a part of that sunset because I'm sitting on that beach and I'm seeing that and experiencing that. So do include space in this third step. Allow really the image to complete itself. It's not only that you are observing what is there, you are part of it. You are a big aspect of that. This third step has a lot to offer in terms of realizing that we are beauty. And we are beautiful in that sense. You're putting yourself in that context of the beautiful things, and self is also a piece of the puzzle and completing the general image. So yes, you're beauty. It is not necessarily something that you will experience in the beginning or in the process, but you will earn it. This understanding of you are beautiful and no need to change much. So this is the third part, allowing everything to be in the space that it is evolving, and we are present, we are part of that space, and we are here observing and participating. The fourth step is more of a anupaya. So you are just allowing everything to be as it is. Really, for the previous levels of logic, analysis, energy, and observation to melt into one presence. So you're just being there, allow everything to become one, be present, and keep observing, keep on being there. That's it, the fourth step. So it's really an approach to the four upayas. And it will give you this kind of full range of realization in that sense. We are Navopaya in the beginning, so analysis, the mind, then Shaktopaya, we are observing Shakti, the energy, the movement. Then we are Shambhavopaya, we are in the Shiva aspect. We are observing the observer is present in the space and so on. And then Anuvapayano means we are just being present, including all is the Sokshan aspect, the Pradavinya aspect. So this is it. And you stay meditating. It's good to have the eyes open or half open. At this last stage, do not close the eyes. Previously, obviously, you would be having the eyes open or opening and closing, and that's fine. But for this last one, it's good to keep them open or at least half open. You need to allow everything to incorporate into one presence, to meddle into one. So this is the practice. You start with this type of approach with the high stuff, sunsets, beautiful flowers, beautiful ladies even. Well, beautiful ladies is difficult. It's difficult in a way because when you're watching a person, you will make connections and projections. So in that sense, a lot of the personal stuff will wake up. And it's something for future practice. It's not for the beginning. It's an advanced practitioner's method of observation. It will happen later. For these first steps, then you observe the naturally beautiful things. Trees, mountains, sunsets, flowers, and so on. Then move on to a little less, let's say, generally accepted beautiful things. Could be art, for example. There is some kind of differences of opinions about art. Or it could be more simple things, maybe structures, or actually a good transition from one to the other is sculptures. And you just observe, because you have the 3 dimensions and the space that is containing them. If they're not in museums and they're in an open air thing, then it's good. Because most of the times, hopefully, the artist has thought of the place where it's going to be exhibited. So it's kind of interacting with the scenery and all that, or not, could be not. And there is beauty in that. So then, as I was saying, this second step is introducing into your observation things that are not really so wow, like a sunset or the moon or a beautiful rain that is bringing out the rainbow. These are easy for all of us to see, but I don't know, just a pillar somewhere or a naked tree or a rocky mountain with no plants or just a desert. There's a flat desert, for example. These are harder. Then you keep on, after this stage, that you're making it harder, not necessarily generally accepted things, as wow, beautiful. Then you go into simple things. Now you go into structures and even buildings and textures even. A shiny texture. These are hard ones. Now we're going into the difficult stuff. And you can say, like, for example, the wall in front of me is a rocky wall. So there are textures. And you can observe that texture, for example, how the rocks are mingling with each other and creating this pattern or whatever. This is the third, let's say, kind of group of observation. Not necessarily beautiful things, but there is some kind of beauty or harmony to be observed in them. And then there is a fourth kind of category, which is simple things like this glass. This bottle of water with the thing, you know, with all the letters and the stupid logo and whatever. Everything. So everything. A round thing, a little box, a spinner, whatever. Everything. So you go and open up this observing beauty thing into all. All could be created by people, could be natural, it could be just a block, a brick, closed book, blank page, anything. So go into that beauty. And then after that, you will observe that there is a kind of transition at this fifth level, fifth group of observing. It will transit on its own. And it is a kind of just, let's say, wherever your mind, your eye is falling, then this process is happening. And you're thinking, wow, this is beautiful. You will not be necessarily going through the steps. Not necessarily you say, oh, Javier has this type of haircut. I like the white. I like how short is the t-shirt, and I like how he's putting his legs, how he's holding the pencil. You're not going through this analysis of mind necessarily. It kind of clicks to immediately the third part, which is present in the space with a beautiful thing in front and just accepting that. And then to the fourth. And then after a while, the sixth kind of level or process in this evolution, the sixth aspect would be just being present and everything is great. This is the Shivam aspect. So the Satyam aspect, the beauty and the knowledge into it, it all happens until the fifth step, let's say. And in the sixth step or level of observation, then it's kind of everything is there and you're in the Shivam aspect. So that's it. 4 levels in the practice and then different styles of observation of observed beautiful things. It's a process for life, as I was saying. It's a liberation practice. These are the upayas. We have Anuvopaya. This you can read. It's Kashmir Shaivism shit. This is Anuvopaya, which is the level of body, matter, logic, and mind, means that are practical. And then you have Shaktopaya, which is the Shakti aspect, the energy aspect, the movement of things, the transition and the evolution. And then you have Sambhavopaya, which is the Shiva aspect of it. The observation and the observer included meddling into one. And then we have a fourth aspect, the Anupaya, we say, no means. Upaya means, ways. Upaya is like no way. No way, man. There's like no method, just being present, this meddling of everything that was analyzed before. But
I have a little doubt between the third and the fourth step, no? Like when we are including the space and we're including everything, what is the difference between the third and the fourth?
The third step, what is happening, Shiva is being formed. The Shiva aspect in our observation is being formulated, which is you have the observer, you have the act of observation, you have the observed, but we're making a small gap or transition into the self, into real Shiva aspect. So this takes a little bit of time. It will start happening in the third step and complete itself in the fourth. This detachment from the observer will happen. And there will be something that is observing the observer, observing the thing. That something will really make itself known in the fourth part. This detachment will happen in the third.
There is the difference between in the last step is this union of everything, like the dissolving of the ego, let's say.
Exactly. So we're realizing that there is only the self in that sense, or the self has been always there behind it all. And we are incorporating now reality. We are embodying reality because you see, this is why the guy who made the practice thought of it. He thought of including beauty as the means of it. So you're including beauty and you're part of beauty. So now you're using that core essence of your existence, which is made by beauty and love. And it's appearing in this last part. You have included it into all the analysis and experiential realization until that point. Reveals itself better, easier in that sense.
The vehicle.
Exactly. We have created the vehicle. And at the end, there's no vehicle. There's shit. It's always been there. It's the hand in the pocket.
I really like this practice. It's very appealing to me.
I'm writing here also the, so here it is. And you can read about all that.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we are. Enjoy it, practice it. It's a wonderful practice. It brings results quickly. It heals a lot the psyche. It helps to incorporate things that are really we haven't thought about, and to be more compassionate, to be more loving, more accepting. It creates a kind of good basis for overcoming neurosis in general, because it gives you this aspect that we kind of lose when we are acting into our neurosis, which is, it's all okay, man. It's not the end of the world. It's the world is starting and finishing all the time, and we just can enjoy observing it in that sense. Our personality will die at some point and will be reborn in that sense, in a newer, cleaner aspect, hopefully. And we just can enjoy the ride, allow it to happen. And it sometimes can be painful, but it is the times that we are attaching to it. You will see also that around this fifth step of changing the subjects of observing, you will see that you will be including a lot of moving things, like a person or something that's happening fast, you know. And in that sense, many feelings of impermanence will appear then. And there, the emotional part will be more like existential anguish in that sense, for the fleeting illusion of passing, in that understanding of what really is there. But it's close to really fixing the final point. And yeah, always these type of more transpersonal things, they hurt more because we don't have good understanding in our personality. The understanding is more in the soul, in the experience of the soul. So it's more a bit kind of transpersonal, what to say. You don't really get it, but you get it. You get it.
Okay, let's see how it goes. When I started doing it, I felt like whoa, man. What a
Yeah,
great,
it's a great shift. It's a serious shift from what is the shit to you know, there's something here. Yeah, sure.
yeah. Okay, Michalis, see you next Monday. And yeah, you're coming soon.
It's happening. It's happening.
Good.
Hopefully, who
I
knows?
think Ellie
If
needs
nothing,
to call me or something because I didn't heard from anybody.
they will start now putting out some more information and all that, I think. Anyway, let's see how it goes.
Okay, have a nice one. Thank you
You
very
too.
much.
Enjoy. See you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.